you must embrace isolation when trying to level up. In fact, isolation is key when trying to level up. Think about the times when your favorite movie character or anime character had to go through a period of time where they train in isolation in order to get to the next level. Like when Naruto trained with Jiraiya for 2 years and came back to the village a new ninja. Or when Goku trained in the Capsule Corp spaceship for 7 days on his way to Namek and managed to break through all his barriers before landing on Namek to kick some ass and turn Super Saiyan for the first time in Dragon Ball Z history. Or when Luffy trained with Rayleigh for 2 years before linking up with the crew as a completely different pirate, skill level wise. He was up there with the Yonkos after the time skip. There's a reason why all these characters experience so much growth in periods where they are isolated from everyone else. That is because isolation is necessary when trying to ascend to the next level. Putting this into perspective should allow you to embrace isolation because you know you're about to break through your limits. In periods of my own life, I have made some serious progress when in isolation. One big example of this was during COVID. My cousin had just passed away and I was feeling completely lost. I decided I wanted to stop being a loser and get into shape and more specifically get some abs. I specifically remember not being able to do a pull up, but I set my mind on that goal of being able to perform the pull up and then dedicated my time to learning it. Every day I would go for a walk and hit my local park and attempt to do the pull up. Slowly but surely, I was able to not only perform the pull up, but now I was doing reps. 1, 3, 5, 10 reps, and before I knew it, I was doing of 3 sets of 10. Sometimes I was doing 50 reps twice a day. I was going crazy. It was wintertime too, so it would be snowing like crazy, and I was outside doing pull ups. I really felt like I was an anime character. This period of life, now that I look back, really contributed to physical gains as well as building mental fortitude. It was just me and the monkey bars at the park, stuck in isolation, but I had embraced it. In fact, I had welcomed the darkness into my heart. I did this all winter, and by the end of it, my back had grown significantly. I also worked out at home at a similar intensity level, and so I had achieved the goal of getting a six pack, which was the first time in my life that I had ever seen abs. Kudos to me for getting the goal completed, but really the point of the story is to help you understand that isolation is key when trying to get to the next level. Now, this is not something that should be practiced as a lifestyle, but rather as a tool for certain periods throughout your life. If isolation becomes your lifestyle, it has potentially fatal consequences. As human beings, we require social connections with peers in order to thrive, so you don't want to be isolated for too long, or you might end up like a feral animal. So tread through this carefully. You don't want to be ending up unable to have a simple social interaction because you wanted to go ghost. I went through an isolation period during COVID, so it was way easier to get away with it. However, if you're thinking about trying to isolate in order to get to the next level, but find that it could be quite difficult with your current lifestyle, then listen to this. Maybe you don't know how to say no to your friends asking you to hang out, or maybe you have a girlfriend that you have to see periodically, or you guys will break up, or maybe some social commitments that you have that could potentially be a roadblock. First, you need to understand that all these people in your life will never be able to solve your problems. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to take care of your people. Quite frankly, their opinion is irrelevant. And when it's all said and done, you basing your decisions off of what others think could leave you to severely regret it in your final days of life. Let that sink in as you are struggling with trying to go ghost. Most people that actually rock with you will encourage you leveling up, and they will support your choice regardless of what it is. You don't want the type of people that will not support you to be around you. Something to think about. Personally, I use this concept whenever I feel like I'm being complacent in my life and or I'm feeling off, or like I'm not accomplishing enough. I've become more comfortable with it as the years have passed. I used to be very self-conscious about not linking my friends on a basis, especially when it came to the weekend. But nowadays, most people just hang out with their girlfriends in my circle, which makes it so much easier for me to just do my own thing and work on my own goals and stay in my own lane. Sometimes you need to just make that leap of faith, regardless of if you know exactly where the path will lead you. In fact, most people will never reach their full potential if they fail to go ghost at least once in a while. You have to understand that and ask yourself if you're willing to pass up on reaching your full potential because you're not willing to make the sacrifice and go through an isolation period. I'm merely just putting the thought out there, and what you choose to do with it is completely up to you. If you are inspired by this video, then go ahead and pick a goal that you want to pursue and pursue it relentlessly in silence and isolation. Come back to the world and society a new man and watch everyone in awe as they can no longer recognize the man that you have become.